Want to find out what comic books we're grabbing this week, which ones we recommend, and here's some of our other questions, answers, and additional information? Tune in. So hello everyone and welcome back to Married with Comics. I'm your host Laura and this is my favorite co-host, my husband Scott. So before we get started, of course, the most important part, which is our giveaway announcements. So thanks to Kevin, who has been amazing, we have a 250 subscriber giveaway. And guess what? We're already at 211 subscribers.
Ooh, we're getting so close.
So for the 250 subscriber giveaway, Kevin donated a copy of Witches, which is one of my absolute favorite books.
So cool.
I recommend this so much. And I tossed in a copy of Chew, Volume 1. So we are going to do a random subscriber giveaway. It's going to be fun and it's going to be coming up very soon. We do have other amazing giveaways coming at 500, 1,000, etc. But basically, subscribe, like, comment, join in on the fun because we have some great things coming up. So this week, actually, I have a much shorter pull list than Scott. So most of you, of course, saw in our Comic-Con video that I am insanely excited that Joelle Jones is coming. But perfect timing. So this week, they are releasing one of those DC poster portfolios of Joelle Jones' work. So my amazing husband, for my birthday, got me the Peach Momoko poster portfolio book. So if you've never seen one of these before, basically has, print size pages, and they are gorgeous. So it's going to be something similar to this, but specifically with Joelle Jones' art. And all I have to do is pick which one I want her to sign. That's going to be a bit of a challenge, but one I think I can undertake. So that one I am super excited. Joelle Jones is coming. Comic stories, though. Absolute favorite, excited, is definitely the Joker. Joker issue number 5. James Tynion IV is writing this series. We do get to find out a bit more about Punchline and some more of kind of her backstory. But honestly, the writing in this story has just been phenomenal. I love how he's been building up all the characters. I don't want it to end anytime soon. So highly recommend it. Silver Coin, issue number 4. So this series, each issue is written by a different writer. So this issue is actually going to be written by Jeff Lemire. Of course, many of you have seen Jeff Lemire's work on Sweet Tooth and other, he's written some absolutely amazing titles, but I'm really curious what his take is going to be. And the best part is this story is actually going to be taking place in the year 2467.
Wow. Okay.
So we get to see the Silver Coin kind of traveling through time. And I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. The other one that I'm insanely excited about, but technically Scott's going to be reading this one too, is Thor issue number 15. So this is the Donny Cates run.
Donny Cates run.
This is starting a new story arc, so if you are trying to at least jump in, this is a good place. So far, the last 2 story arcs have been phenomenal, but this is going to be more of an Odin versus Thor storyline, because you have technically 2 All-Fathers now.
The All-Father versus the All-Father.
Exactly.
All hail's gonna break loose.
And my just quick heads up honorable mention is Oblivion Song. The hardcover book 2 is going to be released this week. So for those of you that were kind of waiting for that second story arc to be able to read it, highly recommend it. Definitely grab it this week.
Cool. So my list, apparently it's the week of Batman.
Dun dun dun.
I have several, including, one of my guilty pleasures, Scooby-Doo. Well, Batman and Scooby-Doo teamed up. And it's number 4 that's coming out this week, the Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries. It's going to be kind of cool because they're throwing in some new characters. So we have Nightwing and Batgirl and Black Mask. It's funny, goofy reading, but if you liked the movies they did, the live action movies of Scooby-Doo, then you probably will enjoy this comic series run. Another Batman issue that's coming out is Detective number 4. I really was intrigued when they took him out of Gotham. They put him in England, the UK, and of course, he's being framed, but stuff's starting to come to a head. Really like the series, like the writing on it, like the artwork on it. And the concept behind it I thought was kind of neat, because you don't see Batman outside of Gotham very often unless he's in an alternate universe, but that's another story. Anyhow, Batman Urban Legends number 5 is coming out. If you've been following this series at all, you know that there are multiple different stories within each issue. Some of them are more of my favorites than others. Some of them involve characters that I don't know very much about, to be honest. But this one is number 5 in that series. I'm looking forward to it because one of the characters I didn't know that much about before, Red Hood, is prominent in this one. So I'm looking forward to that. Batman Detective Comics 1039. So the reason that I'm really interested in this one is, number one, it's kind of a lead up to one of the Secret Files. If you've been watching any of these Batman Secret Files issues that have been coming out, there have been several that have been released so far. This is kind of the lead up to the Batman Secret Files, the Huntress. One of my favorite, least written about characters. Or let me put it this way, I don't think she's gotten the attention she deserves. There have been a couple of not so hot TV series that tried to feature her.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that's coming out this week as well. And then I got out of Batman finally. Dynamite Lives. So this is the week for issue number 2 in that series. Dynamite Lives is a continuation of Dynamite, spelled D-I-E. If you follow any of the characters, so like Red Sonja, Vampirella, just any of them, then your first series dealt with like zombie apocalypse hits that universe, right? And somehow these characters from different timelines get involved and meet, and it was really cool. Hearing Vampirella's description of Red Sonja, that was cool. Then they continue on with this. So that comes out this week. Speaking of my girl, my other girl, my Red Sonja, Invincible Red Sonja comes out this week. This is issue number 3. Sometimes you can get lost in how many different places Red Sonja can be. Look at it this way. How many multiverses are there? Okay? If DC can do it, Dynamite can do it. Enough said. Norse mythology. So Neil Gaiman. Gaiman or Gaiman?
Gaiman.
Because I've heard it done both ways.
I got the confirmation online from Neil Gaiman himself. It is Neil Gaiman.
So Neil Gaiman, for all of you that have been mispronouncing it. Norse mythology number 2 comes out. This is volume 2, issue 2, correct?
Yes.
So we already had volume 1 that we subscribed to. Got the B covers because
they're gorgeous.
They really are. The artwork on them is really cool. This is number 2 of volume 2 coming out this week. A little bit of a flip in script. So Robin Hood, Goldilocks, annual number 1. Robin Hood spelled R-O-B-Y-N. If you don't know anything about this channel, us, or Zenescope comics in general, go back and look at some of our old videos. Zenescope is one of the first things, and Robin Hood is the first character that this young lady bought at a Comic-Con. So it factors into our history of comics and especially wars. Zenescope Entertainment's been accused in the past of being more of a pleasing to the male or female who prefers female eye on their cover and artwork. I'm not going to deny that, but I'll also say, when's the last time you saw Wonder Woman wearing a one-piece bathing suit? Or any of the other heroines from any of the other publishers? However, that being said, a lot of people looked at the covers, never made it past it, would not pick it up and read. They, in the past especially, have had some awesome writing, some really cool storylines. They take a tale you're familiar with and they flip it and they do an interesting twist on it. All that being said, I'm actually getting this one because of the artwork. So Igor Vidorino did the cover of this one of the covers. It's absolutely stunning. Look it up for yourself. I'm buying it because I want to have that cover. I haven't read any of the new Robin Hood. Laura has. She wasn't as big a fan of the new writing, but maybe this will turn around. We don't know. The writer on this one's Joe Bruscia, who I know has done some old stuff and we like, so we'll see. That one's on my list. Then we get into the Spidey stuff. Oh my gosh. So if you've been following, Chameleon Conspiracy, I mean, there's been a lot going on in Spidey's world. Sinisterwar starts. Sinisterwar. So you not only have 2 of his all-time greatest foes, right? Same issue. You have them each forming their own teams, and they're each fighting each other, but at the same time, who's the one person they hate more than each other? Spidey. So you have Doc Ock's Sinister Six. You also have the Vulture's Savage Six. I can't wait. Like I literally started drooling just a little bit. I'm waiting on that one.
But which cover?
Very impatiently. So I honestly, I looked at the variant covers. I want them all. But I think I picked my favorite. You'll have to wait and see what it is. There is a Peach Momoko cover as well. I will say that. Hint. But I did pick more than one. Because the Peach Momoko covers, I'm kind of collecting individually. And then this is one that I also really, really liked. One of the other covers that I don't want to get into right now. We'll show it later maybe. But I want to get through my list. So, in Spideyland, we also have Spider-Man Spider Shadow number 4 coming out this week. It was a neat plot twist. It caught me from the synopsis on the first issue. I also bought the first issue partly because of the artwork on the cover. It's been kind of going around in odd way. It's been less than direct plot line. However, issue 4 comes out. By less than direct, I mean it didn't go from point A to point B. It kind of went point A, point G, point C, point whatever. Okay, I like where it's been so far, but issue 4 drops this week. We'll see what happens next. Okay, Wonder Woman 775. I've been collecting Wonder Woman because we like Greek mythology. We've loved the new movies that have come out recently. I remember as a kid watching reruns of the Linda Carter TV show. There's tie-ins to my childhood, tie-ins to modern times. The writing, the artwork right now, I think is some of the strongest that it's been. There are other people that will argue with me about that. That's okay. This issue, though, she gets to the graveyard of the gods, and her weapons suddenly are powerless. I can't wait to see what she does. That's all I'm going to say. And everybody else that's been reading the series with me, I'm sure you're in the same boat as me. I'm looking forward to it. The last one on my list is really one of those things where I was kind of looking at what's coming out this week, and I saw the title got me to open it to read the description. But I have to read you the description. If she edits it down, that's fine. An epic new tale in the patriotic averse, because some things in it are too big to contain in one series. College students by day, kaiju-sized Valkyrie warriors by night. Hello. Larissa Valkyrie of the Tides is the only one of Freya's forces who remains to fight the evil Zodiac gods. Can she find new recruits in time to stop them? Inspired by various manga and anime, Valkyrie Saviors has action, Norse mythology, beautiful warrior maidens with swords, comedy, and more. I'm going to try it. It's Valkyrie Saviors issue 1. It's from Antarctic Press. I'm going to try it. I'm going to dip my toe in the pool, and if it's really, really awesome, you guys can thank me for pointing you in that direction. If it really, really stinks, it was Laura's idea.
What?
That's my pull list.
I have 2 maybes. The first one is Extreme Carnage Scream that comes out this week. So we do have Extreme Carnage issue number 1. Yeah. Scott and I are both halfway through it, so we actually haven't finished, and I think that's going to be our deciding point.
I do like it so far.
If we finish it and love it, then we're going to grab Scream. Yeah. My only hesitation was the King in Black Scream issue number 1. The cover art was gorgeous. Storyline inside was good but not great. So I'm teetering, so that's why it's kind of in my maybe pile. Yeah. But like I said, I want to read this one first.
Same writer?
That's what I need to find out.
I don't think so. So, yeah, but anyhow.
The other one is The Lot, which is a Bad Idea Comics series. Now, I just finished Sleigh Bells last night. Sleigh Bells was another good but not great. And I'm like, why? Why do I do this to myself every single time? Because I read the description of the Bad Idea Comics series. Yeah. So The Lot.
That's why.
Yeah, they get me every single time. So the Lot storyline is the It's like a Hollywood production company, and they hired real satanic spiritualists to hold a real live seance. Things go horribly wrong, and they close down the set, they destroy the film, and they've never used the lot for like the next 30 some odd years, whatever. Now we have a new production company comes on in, and they decide to use the lot. And scary things start happening. Exactly! And I'm like, this could be so cool!
Ever watched any 80s or 90s horror movie ever involving teenagers or camps?
And a seance.
Or islands.
Yes. So, I'm like, I want to read it so badly, but I'm also like, bad idea comics, come on, you gotta deliver. So, the other one that I wanted to give you all a heads up about was one that I actually just removed from my pull list. Now,
yes,
Ninjak #1 is coming out this Wednesday, and there was a ton of hype, and everyone was super excited about it. I was like, yes, I put it in my pull box, and I just told Scott today, I'm like, when we get there, we are putting it back. Why do I say that? Because while I was doing my kind of pre-research for this video, I found a preview for the series. And in the description, they're talking about how Valiant has really like upped their interior art, and they're super proud of how they added extra bold lines and more action. And then you see the preview of the first couple pages. I'm going to be showing these because I don't want you to just take my word for it. But the interior art was, let's just say, disappointing.
Whatever.
Well, and my problem was when you compare apples and apples, and I'm like, just looking independent companies and independent companies.
Yeah.
And you look at the interior art.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, if the art isn't sending me far, and there are some different series that just really don't.
Yeah.
And
you did that with Batman Reptilian.
Yeah, Batman Reptilian, I've told you all that the art was so distracting.
Exactly.
But the story was great. So I was like, let me read the story and see if the writing really sends me far. The writing was a bit flat. So I'm definitely skipping this one. I was a little disappointed, and maybe some of you are huge Ninjak fans, and maybe there's something that you're going to find in that series and you're going to be like, Laura, give this another try. So if you read it and think that this is worth, every single moment, great. All I will say is if that was their marketing campaign to get people to read the series, it definitely had the opposite effect for me.
Is anybody out there a big Valiant fan, period, of a character or an artist or a writer? I've struggled to find Valiant something that I want to keep going with, or to get into, let's put it that way. But I don't know that I'm giving it a fair shake, And so there are mainstream publisher characters that I walked into the comic shop and asked Dan, I'm like, I don't know why I'm not really a Green Lantern fan, and I feel like I should be. Point me in a direction to get me interested. So if somebody out there is a Valiant fan from anything to do with Valiant, cover, person, artist, whatever, drop it in the comments, because I'd be interested in trying and hearing somebody else's viewpoint that is a fan. Because I'm with you. I've just, beyond Ninjak, I've just not found any of their characters that I was like, or artist or...
So first things first is we've got to give a great shout out to our friends Tony and Cooley, who actually had us on for an interview this week. And we talked about our, how we met, some of our favorite comics, some great stories. So if you want to check out us being interviewed by someone else instead of doing vice versa, I've got the links down below. Tony and Cooley have a great YouTube channel. They are just starting, so please definitely consider supporting them as well. All right, so first things first, Kamar. One, he says that Married with Comics is one of his favorite weekly shows. You're awesome. And he totally loved our Batman print that came from BJ Kicks.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
We did actually hear from BJ Kicks, and he said that he was happy to return the love you guys showed us, but he did also say that he may have to come visit the Batman print every once in a while.
We can work something out. Every other weekend, holidays, we'll figure it out.
Definitely. The Detonator video. So we do have, of course, the interview coming soon with James Parrish, but everyone seemed to be really excited about the new series. Loved that we were highlighting a Kickstarter. Robert, of course, said that he had never tried a Kickstarter before, but was definitely very interested in Detonator. And Kevin was smart enough to catch my Lady Killer comment during that video. So anytime I compare a series to Lady Killer, it is definitely a huge compliment. I love that series. I can easily go into a rant of why Joelle Jones is amazing. So the fact that Kevin caught on to that little, comparison, it's definitely a good compliment. Last week, of course, in our video, we talked about our longest run and we talked about Daredevil. So you all shared your longest runs. So we definitely have some variety in our fans. We have J-Pop, who's collecting the original Batman Volume 1.
Ooh.
So he has issues 390 through 713 already. Wow. But his oldest issue is issue number 53, which is already slabbed.
Wow. Issue 53 of Batman?
Yeah.
Good Lord, J-Pop. Wow, that's awesome, dude. And holy cow.
Cinex Studios, your man after my own heart, his runs are Spawn and Oblivion Song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So Doug was actually unique because he's collected Manifest Destiny. Some of it has to do with he actually knows the artist.
Oh no, that's cool.
So I asked him a little bit more about the series, and he said that it was kind of an alternative history of Lewis and Clark's expedition. But in this one, you have monsters and a kick-ass Sacagawea.
No. So yeah, I need to find this. What's it? Manifest Destiny?
Manifest Destiny.
Because I love history, and that would be so cool. Okay.
So it's been added to the list.
Yes.
Now, A100's pulls that he's been grabbing, trying to get the full runs on, was Conan the Barbarian, Warlord, and Jonah Hex. But you have a bit of history with Conan.
Well, it was in the original set of comics that I inherited from my older brother. And when I say older brother, he's, I think, 11, 12 years older than me. So when he was graduating high school in 1980, late 70s, probably late 70s, I don't know. Anyhow, these were the books that he was collecting, were like that 70s era up through, the early 80s. And a lot of the stuff that I got handed was, unbeknownst to me at the time, probably really valuable. Certainly some of the original artists that we've now seen, derivatives of and so forth. But anyhow, I remember distinctly reading Conan, thinking it was really cool. But also, I remember watching the first few movies with Arnold and being a little, not disappointed. Like, the movies were cool. The movies were awesome in their own right. But I was like, they left stuff out because I've been reading some of the books and from that era. And then they redid it with Jason Momoa, and I was like, I like Jason Momoa, but the remake didn't cover any new territory for me, really. So I'm still like waiting on somebody to make a Conan movie as good as the
comics,
the old comics. I haven't read any of the new, to be honest. It was in my curious pile actually for this week, one of them, but I haven't read them in so long that I don't know if I'll try to start. I got so many other things I'm reading. So
Eugene asked sort of when we get the single issues versus the trades, and some of the bargain shopping, because collecting comics is definitely not cheap, and it can definitely take up a lot of shelf space. As you can tell with us, we had to expand quite a bit to fit all of the comics.
Yes.
So
we got our floor back.
I know we did,
which is now full of dogs.
Well, yeah. So first things first, with bargain shopping or trying to get a couple deals on comics. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, there are a couple exceptions, the trades are going to be a little bit cheaper than getting the individual issues. The only difference, though, is that the individual issues are the ones that will hold their value more than the trade. So if you're looking for collection purposes and value, or you're trying to resell, the single issues are typically the way to go. But it's one of those where getting a full run of something doesn't always guarantee the value. Everyone wants the key issues. The number ones, the specs, the first appearances, the cameos.
Here's the thing with the trades too. A big money saving tip. Don't buy them when they're brand new.
No.
Unless, our local shop, Ultimate Comics Raleigh, they do a deal where it's anytime, doesn't matter, regardless of sale or whatever else is going on, buy 3, get the 4th free. So if you do the math and you come up with, 4 $20 books, instead of paying $80, you're paying $60. So you get 4 for 60 instead of 4 for 80. So you say it's like, $16.50 or whatever. Point is, if they're new, they're always going to be a little bit more. If one of the big tips that we found, you have an Ollie's bargain store anywhere near you. If it's not Ollie's, look up some other type of discount chain where they just take all the stuff that the other stores couldn't sell and they buy it and they put it on their shelves. It could be, Max Junk or whatever it is. There's all kinds of little shops all over the country that I've seen or heard of. Ollie's, though, will take a trade that was $20 and put it on their shelf for $5. Well, and then you can get, 4 for $20 instead of 4 for $60. But you still wind up paying for the individuals more if you wait. It's the reverse of that, I think. Because back issue runs typically go higher than cover. Especially if it's a key issue, key character, first appearance, any of that stuff, they go up, not down. Trades typically go down.
Well, and you can still find like some of the non-key issues in like dollar bins.
You can.
So typically what I will do a lot of times is around certain holidays. So like for July 4th around Amazon Prime Day, Target and Amazon both did a buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
So I went ahead or I've seen buy one, get one free. I've seen buy one, get one 50% off. Your LCS will typically do a sale around Memorial Day, especially for Black Friday. Free comic book day, there's almost always a sale.
Small business day.
I mean, so typically...
Plenty of times throughout the year.
What we'll do is we'll kind of wait until those big sales are coming up, and instead of buy 3, get 1 free, sometimes it's buy 2, buy 1, etc. And that's when we'll grab whether it's the back issues or the trades and kind of stock up at that time. So unless it's something that you have to have,
here's the bottom line.
Patience is good.
If you want it badly enough, you're willing to pay for it and you're able to pay for it, get it. Don't wait. I say that because if it's an art cover that you like, I'll buy the single issue for the cover. Mm-hmm. If it's a storyline that I love, a character, the story in particular, then I'll wait for the trade because I know for a fact that I want to read that more than once and I want that whole set so I can start at the beginning and go all the way to the end and not wait. That's another thing to keep in mind. If you're doing the single issues, you got to wait a week, 2, whatever it is, before the next one comes out. Sometimes that's okay. If the artwork's good, then I'll buy the single issue and I'll wait. But if it's something that I love the writing of and I know I need it to be able to go back over it multiple times, I'll sometimes just wait and get the trade. We're doing that right now with a couple of current issues that we liked them initially, single issues so much that we're like, all right, we'll wait on this one when the trade comes out. I did it with King in Black because number one, there were so many offshoots, and number two, there were so many different variant. I couldn't pick. I had so much to choose from. I couldn't decide. So I said, all right, when the trade comes out, I'll buy it and read the story.
We have a lot of them that we're waiting on. The only other thing that I will give you the hesitation on. So for instance, behind me, I have the Criminal Deluxe set. Was so excited I was able to get volume number 1 and volume number 3 on great sales. Volume number 2 has been, of course, the one that has been selling out like crazy. And because of that, now the prices are starting to skyrocket. I was able to grab it before. I found it on one site that was not charging me an arm and a leg. But keep in mind when you're dealing with sets like that, it's typically the one that you don't grab, that's the one that's going to start selling out, and now you're worrying about eBay prices. Yep. So be careful. Okay, so the only other question that we have comes from, of course, Robert, who has some of the best questions. Robert asked, what is our oldest single issue that we own? Now, as you all have noticed last week on our video talking about our longest pull, makes perfect sense what our oldest issue is. Daredevil. So this is issue 159, Frank Miller. It's the only Frank Miller issue that we have for now. Won't be that way forever. But back in 79.
July. So that's what we had for this week's pull list that we're coming up with and answering some of your questions. I want to hear from some of you Valiant fans out there for sure. But keep in mind the subscriber giveaway that we've got going on. We've got a new level now at 250, and we are so close, folks. We are like right there on the verge. Yes. And if you can share, tell your friends about it, talk about it, and we get there, it just keeps getting better because we have another one at 500. And if it gets, big enough, we're going to have another one at 750 and maybe another one at 1,000. We could get to 1,000. You have to have a really cool giveaway for 1,000.
Oh, there will be a cool giveaway for 1,000.
Yes. So. But anyhow, we hope to hear from you. Keep liking, commenting, asking us questions. Let us know what's on your list for this week.
And we are going to be talking to you all again very soon.
See you very soon.
Have a great day, everyone.